Okay, happy Thanksgiving. Let's go. This is a video for the Kiwi Ears X HBB Punch, as in punch. I could have done that better. There we go. If you are a subscriber, go ahead and comment below for a chance to score this. Thank you for your engagement. If you're not a subscriber, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? It's not a quid pro quo. I'm just saying go ahead. But what I'm going to do is take somebody and confirm that they are subscribed here on an unboxing channel and they commented on this video and the unbox, and then I'm going to pick them, notify them on the unboxing channel. That's where notifications should be turned on. And then I'm going to send it to them and I'm going to pay for it. Doesn't matter where they live in the world, anywhere in the world. Shipping time may depend on where you live, but I'm going to cover the cost of the shipping and it'll always have tracking. So good luck to you and thank you for the engagement. This is a Tribird, a single dynamic driver with 2 BAs and 2 ESTs. These are all high quality drivers. This was targeted towards I won't even mention the set, but it was considered very, very good in the past 12 months, and it was priced about $550, and everybody thought that that was well worth it. This set has a better DD than that set, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people over time will come to the same conclusion. It's the dynamic driver that is in the Jupiter, which I find to be exceptional, one of the better ones in the hobby, and some people whose word I trust really hear the same thing. The texture, the quality, when it's even given some extra input in the low end, it holds up very, very well. The rad Knowles and taking care of the mids are not Trust Us Bro custom drivers. They're branded drivers. They cost money. They come with quality. Then there's the Sony and ESTs. So it's your prototypical Tribird. Dynamic driver in the low end, BAs linking the mids to the treble, taken care of by the Sony and ESTs. Let's go ahead and take a look at the frequency graph. This is compared to the Punch because a lot of people have gotten that recently. I won't get into it. A lot of people haven't gotten that recently as well. This is a set that instead of all DDs is a Tribird, and it has about the same amount of sub bass, but it's got more mid bass. And how this is going to play out is how I'll describe or use music to describe it. Let's start with the low end. Triple drops, 808 Roland type stuff. Big Boy Killjill. I've been listening to Kendrick Lamar's new album called GNX. Peekaboo, GNX, Whacked Out Murals. If you're familiar with those tracks, this does that. Awesome. Sounds absolutely fantastic. 4 and 5 string bass guitars, the pulls, the plucks, the ringing of the strings. This is where something like this sounds a lot better than the deuce, particularly the ringing and the harmonics of the bass guitar, because there's benefits to BAs and ESTs when they're done well, particularly when they're kind of slaves to the low end. They're not over amplifying the harmonics, but they're clearly present and well done. Your challenge is to hear it over the low frequency, but it's definitely there. It's like a good car, three-way system. Everything's crossed over well, everything's amplified properly, but the subwoofers are turned up just a little bit, so you're going to have a little bit of difficulty catching what your very nice and well set up separates are doing that are in your kick panels or in your door. The kick drum from Led Zeppelin's 4th album, When the Levee Directs, boom, 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 boom. That comes through very well, very potent, very powerful, as you would expect based on the tuning. As we move into the vocals, Chris Cornell, Lane Staley, Nina doing the cover of Blondie. This is where it becomes, some people are going to like it and some people are not. If you have a female vocal dominated library, K-pop, J-pop, this wouldn't be your EDC, your everyday carry, because it's simply putting too much mid bass onto female vocals, which warms it, heats it up, puts husk, which is something that a lot of male vocals sometimes benefit from because it just sounds more musical, is a way to put it. It sounds more filled in. Female vocals don't have that space. As soon as you start messing with them, they sound weird. So if you have a female dominant library vocal wise, I don't know that this would be the set that you would pick, but again, it's called the Punch, and it's being advertised to bass heads. A high quality via the drivers, and the tuning is very considered, aimed at bass heads. It's all right in front of you. If you really have a lot of female, or somebody's coming out and said, this isn't, I can't believe this, this is for bass heads, and female vocals and bass head sets don't get along well. So there's that. As we move into harmonics and overtones, this is where it gets back to being exceptional. The harmonics occupy about 45% of what you see on a typical graph, but they are 19. If you cut something into 20 pieces, let's say a cake, you slice it 10 times and you got 20 pieces. You take out one piece, that's half of this graph. That's all of the sub-bass, the mid-bass, the mids, and really the upper mids. And then the other 19 pieces of cake that you have actually represent the rest of this frequency response, and that's all overtones and harmonics, nearly all. The tuning of that is very, very important. This is where the quality of the nulls and the sonian come in. It sounds very, very good. The harmonics of stuff that I'm listening to, cymbals, rides and crashes, guitars, electric and acoustic, keyboards, citation always being the ELO greatest hits because there's just so much energy going on. This sounds great. The bump at around 3K is keeping you out of the haze that might be created by a substantial amount of low frequency and making the overtones and harmonics always there and always present and kind of right on your shoulder, and never really seem to get drowned out. This is a set that has room to be turned up. It's not as much as the Jupiter, but you can still turn this up. As it is, I think you would leave it the way it is because its tonality and presentation is supposed to be bass dominant with good clarity in the mids and very good quality in the upper mids and treble. That's what it's out of the box supposed to do. I suppose you could turn it up, but if you're doing that, then you're going to start maybe getting into EQ. So this is the Punch. I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. Again, comment below if you want to score this. This is my personal favorite collaboration. And you're thinking, that sounds cute because it's the most recent. Let me explain to you a couple things. The Fat Frequency was that because it was a non-chi-fi collaboration with a company that I loved. Now, a lot of things have changed in the past 4 months, and the realities of logistical chains and customer service and all of those things have come into play. And the shine is off, basically. It's one of the worst experiences that I've had. So the image of chi-fi, I got to say that the efficiency from Chinese companies and the ability to come out and to do certain things and address certain things is actually quite impressive. This is Kiwi Ears. Kiwi Ears has a good track record when it comes to quality control, QA and QC. QA is what they do before you receive it. Those are the quality assurances in place to make sure something bad doesn't go on. QC is after you've received it and you need to be taken care of. Everybody says QC now because it's just people parrot stuff in the hobby, but in the business world, the things that you do to put in place to make sure that the product goes out as you are intending it to is QA. Those are the quality assurances that are in place. Anybody who takes business class in university knows what I'm talking about. QC is post-sale. It's really customer service. Quality control is really, I won't get into it, but that just sticks in my head. It's the autism. QA is prior, QC is after. Kiwi Ears can do both of those better than the company I just worked with. So you're buying a set that's clearly, by its name and its tuning, going after a certain part of the market. It's using drivers that are of high quality. It's coming out of a factory that hasn't really had any issues, and if they do, they address it quickly. They've done quadbrids, Kiwi Ears, I believe. What they're doing now is no big deal. Doing a tribrid by these guys it's well within their bounds. They're not stretching themselves in any kind of a way. And they got you covered, and if anything ever went on, hit me up at Hi-Fi Guides. You could deal with Linsel directly and they would take care of you. My name's on it as well, so I bear responsibility, so you could reach out to me. I don't anticipate that happening, but don't, right? Knock on wood, don't ever make assumptions. Ass out of you and me, all that stuff. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. If you're into hip-hop like I am, the latest Kendrick is just a banger. That is, I think, better than Good Kid, Mad City. Not in its production, but just in its track to track, man. That is such a dope album. I'll let you guys go.